Hey everyone, Kathy Ryan with eXp Realty. Hey, I wanted to share something with you that just happened to me this afternoon. During a meeting, I received a message, and the message said that he was from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, and it was regarding an ongoing civil matter and to give him a call back. So I gave him a call back. They had a whole menu on if you wanted to talk to the dispatch sergeant, so on and so forth, and all the way down to this guy's name. And when I called, I had to leave a message. Another gentleman called back and I missed the call. He said he was Lieutenant Harper from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. I called him back and he actually answered the phone. He proceeded to tell me, I told him that I was returning the call, and he said, well, what's your name? And I'll look up the reason why you're being called. So I gave him my name. He looked it up and he said, well, the reason that we're calling is because you failed to appear for jury duty in federal court. He proceeded to tell me that I was to appear. He gave me these codes and I wrote them down, these citation codes for not appearing in court. So the first code was FTA-CV-7149-22. So that's F as in Frank, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, dash C as in cat, V as in Victor, dash 7149-22. And then the second code, citation code, that I was in violation of was, and mind you, that is a real code, and it's failure to appear. The second code is C as in cat, O as in Oscar, C as in cat, dash C as in cat, V as in Victor, dash 7150-22. That is also contempt of court citation. So basically he goes into a whole long thing that I was supposed to appear for jury duty. And I told him, I said, I never received a summons to appear for jury duty. And it was for federal court, not state court, federal court. And because of that, these citations have been issued by the judge today. I was supposed to appear today, which that was number one. I'm like, okay, all the other times that I had to go to jury duty, I had to report usually on Monday or call in to see if I was needed and so on and so forth. So that was a little fishy right there. That was number one. Then he proceeds, he says, can you come in today and fill out some paperwork to take care of this, that, you know, there is an affidavit that you didn't receive the notice and failure to appear and all this stuff. So I said, yeah. So he proceeds to tell me, he goes, well, first, you'll be meeting with Miss Edna Shepard, and you'll need to go upstairs and meet with her to fill out a sworn affidavit, the jury update selection form, and optional if I choose to fill out a formal complaint, because I didn't receive the summons to appear on the jury today. And he said, this is in federal court and there's a suppression order. So you cannot tell anybody that you've been summoned to federal court. You cannot tell anybody that any of this is going on, not your family, not your boss, if you were at work or anything like that. And he wouldn't let me hang up the phone at all during this period and call him back. And then he proceeded, he said, once you do that, then you go downstairs and you meet with Miss Susan Parks. But he said, first you need to do is first you got to pay the fines. And so, and he proceeds to tell this big old long story that because these citations have been ordered against me, if I get pulled over for anything, or I'm in a car accident or anything like that, until I take care of this these two citations, that I can be arrested. The officer that at the scene, or if the officer, whoever pulls me over for a traffic violation, can arrest me. Okay. So he says, there's two things you can do. You can make a payment plan, or you can pay the fines in full. If you pay the fines in full, then when you're in the lobby and you get all your paperwork done, because if you fill out the formal complaint, you'll be able to get your money back right then and there with a cashier's check. And I'm like, a cashier's check? Okay. All right. That is, my spidey senses are going up for that one, number two, because as far as I know, only a banking institution can issue a cashier's check. Then he proceeds to say, I said, okay, fine. What's the fines? And, I'm still kind of like, is this real? Is it not real? Is it real? Is this not real? So he says for the failure to appear fine is $1,050. And the contempt of court fine is $1,250. So basically $2,300. And I said, okay, fine. So he goes, yeah, you come down, in the lobby, there's a kiosk, you'll bring up the citations, you'll pay the fine then. I said, great. He gave me the actual address of the sheriff's department in Riverside, in downtown Riverside. So I'm like, okay. And then he proceeds to say, and then I knew it was a scam. He proceeds to say, but you can't pay off your bank card. You can't pay off a credit card because people will come in with stolen cards, and he gave me some story on that. So we have to verify that it is you. So what you need to do is you need to go to your bank. You need to pull out the cash and go to a Walgreens or CVS and get a green dot card. Guys, the sheriff's department will never ask you to do any of this stuff. So please, 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 please be very careful when somebody calls you. And another red light went on after I hung up, and I'm like, that number, whenever I've gotten called over the years, over my listings, real estate, whatever, by the sheriff's department, and even one time by a DEA agent, they've always been blocked numbers, always unknown. The phone number is not disclosed. There's no caller ID. And when they initially left the message, there was no caller ID, and it wasn't blocked. It wasn't from an unknown number. So, and I'm scrambling around. He tells me that if I get off the phone, if I hang up the phone, they're going to immediately send deputies to my home, which he didn't have the correct address. And that was one of the other things too. He looked up the address, and which you can find on the internet very easy, but he pulled up an old address that I hadn't lived at for 8 years. And so you can go to True People Search or Fast People Search.coms and put in your name and the city you live in. Your addresses are going to come up. So anybody can get your addresses. So I'm telling you all of this because you got to be super careful. And this was so realistic, other than going through the whole menu of calling the police station for the non-emergency number, as well as they had dispatch calls going out in the background. And it sounded like they were actually in a police station. It was so real until these other things that you guys need to be aware of and not get suckered and going down to Walgreens or CVS and handing over $2,300 in cash. And I told him I didn't have it. And he says, well, we can make a deal where you have a payment arrangement for 50 to 60%. I said, I don't have that. He goes, well, then you're going to have to go to court and stand in front of the judge. I'm like, fine, I'll do that. And I hung up because I knew it wasn't real. So guys, just when somebody's calling you and leaving you a message to call the police back, for one, if that number, Google it to make sure it's really belongs to the law enforcement, to the sheriff's deputies, to the sheriff's station, to the police department of where you live. Just don't take that for granted. He kept me on the phone and going for about 20 minutes. And I feel pretty stupid right now. And I should have seen the warning signs. But what if you were a person that didn't know any of this? And God bless her, we have a neighbor, and she would have fallen for it. Elderly woman, she would have fallen for it. So please, just do your homework when somebody's trying to get money from you over the phone or tells you that. And the reality is, if you missed a court date and you were supposed to be on the jury, you would get something in the mail. And I even was going to say to him, and I didn't, oh, you guys have so much time that you're chasing down people who don't show up for jury duty. Think about that. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. Please be careful. And I will post you the message, a picture of the voicemail transcript. And so again, the first person who called me said he was Lieutenant Michael Perez. The second one who called, he said he was Lieutenant Harper. So I'm sure they're going to change their names, and I'm sure they can change phone numbers, but just be aware. Okay, guys, have a great day. Stay safe. Until next time.